Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are safe and sound. Real Madrid are through to the round of 16 of the Copa del Rey. We beat Alcoyano in the home turf, but it won't be wrong to say that Madridistas were under constant fear of seeing Alcoyano overpower the Los Blancos for the second consecutive year. Real Madrid did get the victory, but by no means can we say it was a comfortable one. The players had to fight tooth and nail. It was Alcoyano who were giving Real Madrid a run for the money, and although I was at times not happy with the way Real Madrid were playing, I did enjoy the game. It's a small stadium, the Estadio el Collao, but I really liked the energy. The atmosphere there was excellent. Drums were beating, the crowd was chanting, they were appreciating the moves of the players, and you could clearly see the effect the crowd was having on Alcoyano. There was certainly no lack of belief in them. They looked motivated. They again had the desire of repeating the heroics of the previous season, but thankfully for Madrid, we got two world-class deflections in the second half, which ended as goals, handing Real Madrid the victory and saving the blushes. So in this video, we'll do the post-match analysis of Alcoyano vs Real Madrid. We'll talk about the important happenings of the game, and without further ado, let's get started. And firstly, having a look at the lineup in goal, we had Andre Lunin. In the backline, we had Nacho, Militao, Alaba, and Marcelo. In the midfield, we had Valverde, Camavinga, and Casemiro, and in attack, we had Mariano, Rodrigo, and Eden Hazard. And before doing the analysis, let's quickly do the shout-out. A number of you were able to predict the correct scoreline, but our ultimate shout-out winner today is Mr. Marvinho, and I congratulate you for getting the scoreline correct. And now if we shed some thoughts on the starting 11, Ancelotti went with a relatively strong defensive setup. I was expecting at least one of Militao and Alaba on the bench, but Ancelotti was not prepared to take any risks. He put on his favourite centre-back duo, and as we had suspected in the match preview, Ancelotti may look to use Casemiro to provide some leadership in the midfield, and what we can say is that it was a relatively strong team that Ancelotti had fielded. It may have been an indication that the coach is quite serious about doing well in the Copa del Rey. In the past few years, we haven't done very well in the competition. We have been knocked out in the qualification rounds, and if you remember, we were also disqualified on one instance, so it does seem that we will be trying our best to win this cup. And lastly, we also have to bear in mind that we lost the previous match against Getafe, and knowing the standards of Madrid, a coach wants to return to winning ways as soon as possible and try to avoid making any unnecessary headlines in the Spanish media. And now if we talk about the first half in general, we can say we lacked control from the early minutes in the game. Alcoyano players were intensely pressing Real Madrid. The attackers of Alcoyano were aggressively going up against the Real Madrid defenders. It was particularly evident that they were targeting the spaces that was left by Marcelo in the backline. As expected, Marcelo had the attacking duties, and his lack of defensive positioning was acknowledged by Alcoyano. They tried to conjure a few attacks from the right, they tried to put in some crosses, they put pressure on Lunin as well. He was tested a few times, and it was not at all a convincing half for Real Madrid. In attack as well, until Militao's header, Alcoyano were pretty comfortable in soaking up the pressure. They were being physical, challenging Real Madrid for the final balls, so definitely Madrid were compelled to put in a decent shift. Camavinga, I thought, had a very good game. He was the one making some attacking runs from the midfield. He made some line-breaking runs and had started a few attacks in transition. He was the one who helped Real Madrid come out of the intense pressing patterns of Alcoyano, and in my view, he was a standout player in the midfield. He seems to be growing, Camavinga, and let's hope he can have a productive year ahead under the guidance of Don Carlo. And talking about the second half, Alcoyano was slightly less aggressive in the way they started, but as the half went on, they started to press more aggressively, and in the 66th minute, they came up with a beautiful goal. It was down to the brilliance of Danny Vega. He combines well with his teammates. He slips past the Real Madrid defense, and then with great agility, he showcases a skillful move to take out Militao and Casemiro. He cut inside, and with a powerfully struck shot, he put the ball beyond the keeper into the back of the net. Lunin couldn't do anything there, and that goal had again sent the alarm bells ringing. A tragic result was altogether possible, but this time Real Madrid had lady luck on the side. As I mentioned earlier, two deflected goals wrong-footed the Alcoyano keeper, and in the end, to the relief of all Madridistas, we were able to hang on to the lead and secure qualification. So overall, it wasn't a good game in terms of performance for Madrid. Surely we could have done better, but we also have to give massive credit to Alcoyano for having the courage to stand up against the La Liga leaders. They showed an exemplary attitude for a team playing in the third division. They caused a lot of problems for Madrid, and all we can do is applaud the effort that the Spanish minnows put in the game. So those are my thoughts from the game, and let's conclude this video by hearing the thoughts of Carlo Ancelotti. And while assessing the performance of the team, the coach said, "I think we saw a different game to what we are used to playing. We prepared for the fixture full of aerial duels, lot of set pieces and long balls. We scored, fought hard, and first and foremost, we delivered the performance we needed to qualify." Ancelotti was further questioned if his team was still on vacation just like the Getafe game, and Ancelotti attempted to defend his players. He said, "No, not at all. We achieved our goal today. It's not a type of match because showing a lot of quality in this kind of match is not possible. We showed the face of a team that fought. That's what had to be done. I repeat, if you don't fight here, you lose. It happened last year. Then the coach was asked for his thoughts on Eden Hazard. It was another game where Eden Hazard couldn't showcase an assertive performance. He didn't seem to have the cutting edge to dribble past the Alcoyano defenders. And Ancelotti said, quality players suffered more than the rest. He tried, then he played as a number 9 like Isco, who scored when he came on. Everyone did the job. Hazard, Rodrigo and those players with more quality than the others had a harder time. He further added, I hope to see Hazard with confidence soon. He must have more confidence in himself because he has the quality. Little by little, I think he will come back. He's much better than the last few months, and I hope he will soon find his best level. So those were the thoughts of the coach, and that concludes the post-match analysis of Alcoyano vs Real Madrid. Do let me know what were your thoughts on the performance of the team. What were the things that you noticed? Write in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid, and as always, a la Madrid.